Hello again. England today put together a complete performance. There's no two ways around it. It was everything that they've wanted to be for the last 6 months. Both attack and defence primed together like steak and chips. Let's take this from the top then. So, not the biggest YouTube channel out there, not the biggest rugby YouTube channel out there, probably actually the smallest YouTube rugby channel out there. However, those of you that are regular attendees of the programme know that I predicted that England would show more attacking prowess in this game. And that's what we got. We got an England that was willing to play within their own 22, willing to compete at lineouts, willing to play with ball in hand. We got that today. Everything that you've asked for, you got. Yes, England played very well today, in my opinion. It's everything I've wanted for the last 4 months, ever since those run of playing well but losing, and now our run of playing badly but winning. This was the complete performance I think we've been looking for from England. It was sublime. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Let's get into specifics. So pre-game, I looked at the selection for England and Italy, and I both thought that these two teams have come here to play an open and expansive style of rugby. I thought that with Henry Slade no longer picked within the team, Dingwall being brought in, who's obviously a younger guy, and Lawrence moved to 13. I felt like that was to have a more direct running style. I saw that Daly was picked at 15. I think he's more of a natural attacker, but also good at defence in that 15 shirt. I think it offered England a lot in terms of their attacking prowess. No changes in the pack, so they kept Chessum in there, who was obviously man of the match, as a more mobile option in the second row compared to George Martin. Overall, it worked well for them. I do think there were elements of them playing within their own 22 where maybe they should not have. A couple of the occasions led to Italian scores, whether it was a try from a kick to the corner or whether it was 3 points. But you can't say they did not play with intent. And with all the criticism that they've had in terms of they're winning, but this is boring, I don't like this, I'm crying into my beer that my team are winning, but they're not doing it the way they want them, the way I want them to. Well, I think they put a lot of that to bed. And I think the casual fans out there will say, well, this was Italy, right? This is not France. This is not Ireland. This is not South Africa. This is not New Zealand, right? Which is fair. You know, it's a fair comment. But what I would say is that if you look throughout this Italian team, it's not like they're I don't know if that's a word. Bereft. They don't have talent. I think 1 to 8 in terms of their pack, all very talented. I think the props are excellent. I think their second rows are very workmanlike. Their back rows work cohesively as a great kind of tandem between the three of them. All three of them being good at ball carrying and also jackling, and great tacklers. And you look from, Ross Vincent as well, I think had an excellent first start at that number 8 shirt. Definitely picked at number 8 because he's quicker, better ball carrier, Italian team wanting to show that they wanted to attack. That was definitely part of the selection. The back line, I think they've always been weak at scrum half. They've never really had someone come in for the last 2 years that was like a world-class scrum half. But outside of that, I've always liked Paolo Galbisi. I think he's an excellent fly half. Excellent acceleration, but also decisive in what he does, so you can put defences on the back foot. You could argue that Menoncello and Brex, world-class centre partnership. A lot of international teams would take either of those in a heartbeat and start them in their 15. Monty Ioane and Matt Gallagher, the most Italian name within that team, great wingers. And Capuozzo, who plays regularly for Toulouse at fullback, who again was selected there because he's more of a counter-attacking artist than Tommaso Allen is. Don't know if I've said that right. You know what I'm talking about, right? So this is an Italian team that is not like previous Italian teams. They can win games. They can keep it close. They almost beat France last year. So I don't want people to have the same argument where they saw France dismantle this Italian team 2 weeks ago and not give, maybe not the same amount, but not similar credit to England for doing the same thing today. I still think it's a learning curve, right? There's no doubt in my mind it's a learning curve. Sometimes you don't have to play in your own 22, and sometimes you don't. And sometimes you got some bad calls from Andrew Brace, which we'll get into later. But sometimes you need to just... I guess the main criticism I would have of England, and I don't want anyone to feel like I'm a hypocrite here, I thoroughly enjoyed today's win. Today's win felt like a culmination of a lot of bad moments, but also hollow-hearted victories that we eventually get to just enjoy one. Just enjoy one for once in our goddamn lives. And one criticism I would have is that it wasn't completely heads-up rugby. If it was heads-up, every now and again, clearances would be coming from their own 22. I would say there was an adjustment in the second half where they started to do that, but I also think they started to do that maybe mentally because they'd already scored 4 tries, and they scored 2 tries in quick succession in the second half, so that they had a comfortable lead for themselves, and they padded that out for them. So yeah, no, it was great. It was excellent. And so many standout performances, right? Ellis Genge, a great game. Jamie George had a great 100th cap. Will Stuart, I mean, I got laughed at when I said this before, like many months ago, but British and Irish Lions tight head prop. I called it. You can go back and look at the records. I'm pretty much the only one that did that back in the autumn. Maro Itoje, excellent. Ollie Chessum, excellent. Really feel like Ollie Chessum's punching his ticket into that British and Irish Lions tour as well. And the ability for him to either play second row or 6, much like Courtney Oars did in his career, is only really going to give himself more of an opportunity to put himself in that Lions team. Alex Mitchell, good game. I think I've missed the back rows here. How could I? Tom Willis taken off at half-time, or weirdly, even after I thought he was excellent up until that point. I was in the stadium, so don't know why that happened. Maybe you can tell me. Maybe it was head injury. Maybe it was injury in general. Earl, great game. Tom Curry, great game. Concerned about his hip. Definitely felt like it was an issue again. And obviously Poortvliet said last week that it was a dead leg and not his hip injury, which, when you watch it and you watch him on the floor, is it a dead leg? Is it a dead leg every week? Does he get dead legs regularly? Or is it maybe a hip injury? Bit concerning. But Ben Curry coming on was good. Ted Hill came on. I do feel like Poortvliet he likes to pick other people ahead of him, and so therefore Ted Hill gets less time. But I wasn't massively impressed. Chandler Cunningham-South was very good. Alex Mitchell was great. As I've already said, we're now circling back to the backs. Finn Smith. For me, if Ollie Chessum wasn't winning man of the match, Finn Smith would have. Such composure under pressure from kicks. Kicking out of hand was superb. Such an air release valve for that England team. Excellent in terms of ball distribution as well. Some crossfield kicks didn't come off, but the intent was there and the passing was excellent. And so you couldn't question that at all. Dingwall, I think, had an understated but excellent game. Really good direct carrying ball carrier, great decoy runner, quick. And I think that's the main thing. Quicker than Slade has been. Ollie Lawrence, goddamn, don't know what the injury is. Non-contact injury. You hate to see it. These non-contact injuries, whether he's burst a calf or ruptured something, they always seem like they take forever to recover from. And it's such a shame because up until that point, he was England's danger man. And he has been for this whole Six Nations. And I felt like he was punching himself into that Lions tour. Wingers, Freeman, world class. Sleightholme, 2 tries today. Excellent. Fullback was Daly, moved into that 13 shirt. Marcus Smith comes on and plays excellently when asked to play at 15. I don't think you can pick any of those England players and say they didn't play well. There's no complaints for me. They've got a difficult task next week to go into the Principality to beat Wales. But, I think they find the balance in terms of, right, this is us playing all hell let loose, gotta go for 4 tries. Fair enough, they got to do the same thing next week. They've got to go in there and they've got to score 4 tries to even be within a whiff of the competition. But they can do it. And if they don't get it, and they don't get first, they can at least get second. And I've got to be honest with you, if they get second, there's no asterisks for me in this tournament. They were the second best team, second only to, I guess, France, who would win the whole thing. So, in all honesty, a hell of a performance. So much better than anything we've seen since the World Cup, maybe. I don't know, that Six Nations game last year against Ireland was pretty special. They were pretty special against the French last year as well. So, all in all, five stars out of 5 stars. Could not have asked for a better performance. And it's a shame about the injuries that they've had because of, especially Lawrence, just because he was playing so well. So, yeah, they have a chance to deservedly play for that second place spot next week. But that's it. Again, the leg's starting to seize up again, so I'm going to call it there. See ya.